And the core of that attack of BJP President Amit Shah when he was launching the campaign there in Rajasthan was on what is now being described as the Rahul tax scandal, the Gandhi tax papers. Joining me is Smriti Irani. Smriti Irani, Union Minister, senior BJP leader, member of Parliament. She was the one launching that pointed attack on Rahul Gandhi, firing 7 questions at him in the Young Indian and National Herald case. Ms. Irani, thank you for joining me. You know, in this case, do you think it's just a clear tax evasion case, or could it have happened without the UPA government support?
Well, your question begets one inquiry or query on my behalf, in fact. Quite interestingly, 2010, Mr. Gandhi starts a company, which is a Section 25 company by the proclamation of the Congress Party, a company that does not want to do any profit making, does not want to do a loss, ends up buying in a few months a company called Associated Journals, which does nothing but commercial dealings, publishes a newspaper, accrues rent on many of its properties. Why would a non-profit company or a company which has no commercial interest buy a commercial company? That is one question. Second, Mr. Gandhi goes and proclaims to a reporter, and it's printed, that he has no intentions of publishing the newspaper. So the question is, why would you buy a company where the sole function of that company is to publish a newspaper, then go ahead and inform the people of this country that I have no intention of publishing that newspaper? No. Why I'm asking this question is that Associated Journals, as many of your viewers might already know, by the virtue of wanting to publish newspapers, got a lot of land in prime localities in cities like Delhi, Mumbai, Lucknow, and in a city in Haryana, only and only because they made a representation to the government of India that they are this venture which seeks to publish a newspaper and hence should be given prime land at very low value. So today, by the virtue of holding that company, 99% share of it, why Rahul Gandhi suddenly chooses not to publish a paper, one would be a bit inquisitive and ask, why would he then buy such a company?
No, his argument is about, his argument, Ms. Irani, his argument essentially is the BJP doesn't like me.
Yes.
You know, I'm being targeted, and of course Smriti Irani, you know, has a bone to pick with me. Issue is this, are you picking this up? He says, why are you picking up a tax reassessment for a financial year that ended 6 years back?
You know, to
why
Mr.
would you want to do that?
To Mr. Gandhi's credit, he went to the High Court to say, bar the media from reporting on this issue. The only thing you could not go and tell the High Court is that bar anybody else from picking up the issue. Now this, in fact, is a dichotomy of the whole persona called Rahul Gandhi. A guy who talks eons about how freedom of speech should be protected, but wants to gag the media on the first given occasion when a financial scandal has broken out about him. This is a gentleman who says he's the harbinger of change in Indian politics and wants to talk about transparency, but hides his own financial transactions, does not want to fulfill his tax liabilities towards the Consolidated Fund of India, and has no answers. Tell me, when have you last heard of somebody who has the magical capacity of buying a 90 crore loan for only 50 lakh rupees?
But would that be possible?
You have no intention of doing
would that be possible? I mean, if this has indeed happened, which it appears to have, and we were the ones who broke that story, then what essentially Rahul Gandhi did was trying to carry out a Benami namesake transaction to acquire properties of over 2,000 crores. That could not have been possible.
And become party.
That could not have been
more.
That could not have been possible unless he was sure.
Capital.
No, that could not have been possible unless he was sure that the tax authorities and the finance ministers would look the other way. So it's not Rahul Gandhi alone. It's bigger than that, right?
Of course, Arnab. And why? Well, they have to protect the imagery of the Gandhi family, because that is the fulcrum on which the Congress polity rests on. So you're right, and I will not in fact dissuade you from holding this position, because if you look at Raghuram Rajan's statement yesterday, he said that the Congress-led UPA knew that there was a dial-a-loan policy undertaken by the Congress leaders, where bad assets were serviced with more and more loans, where banking authorities were told that if you do you report this misdoing, you will feel the full brunt of some investigating agencies. Now, this is a proclamation of the intent and the operations of the Congress-led UPA. Do you think then they will not protect their one political prince that now is the Congress president?
Yeah, see, Ms. Irani, now this case has been associated by the push given by Mr. Subramanian Swamy, and many people feel Mr. Subramanian Swamy is constantly squaring off as a bone to pick with Rahul Gandhi, and hence this is political. I'm pushing the point because it's been seen to be an individual fighting an individual.
I will beg to differ on that part, because the limited time that I have known Mr. Swamy in the past 5-6 years, I have known him to fight on issues where he feels that authorities have been in some way illegally misled, or in for that fact, if the Treasury of India has been attacked by some unfair means, or for that matter, if a person in a position of power has misused office, he has filed cases on his own violation and won many issues. That being said, yesterday was in fact one of those significant days in the history of the Congress party, where on one side the court comes out and takes a stand against the Gandhi scion. On the other hand, you have Raghuram Rajan talking about, as we say in Hindi, the actual Arthik Arajakta that used to take place in the Congress-led UPA. That both these are symptomatic and reflective of the Congress's essential character.
Electoral implications. Electoral implications 9 months before the general elections. Smriti Irani, 2 points. Anywhere else in the world, an individual facing charges of tax evasion of this kind, I said yesterday, $1 million would be enough for someone to be not allowed to fight for any public office in the United States of America. This is a huge sum. It's a huge sum. In your view on issues of propriety, therefore, does he lose the right to run for public office?
I will only say this: has propriety and has this kind of a moral standing ever dissuaded the Gandhi family into doing something which is actually right and letting go of such scandalous move? I think not. History has shown that every time the Gandhis have broken the law, be it thrusting emergency upon the Indian polity and upon the Indian citizens, or for that matter even the tax evasion case as was yesterday decided upon by the Honorable High Court, it is always a legal process that brings them to justice. And I'm glad Derai Durustai, but at least the wheels of justice are turning now, and the liabilities that are payable, that are accrued to the tax authorities, hopefully will be paid. What Mr. Gandhi has to hide from the income tax authorities and the people of India is something that only Mr. Gandhi can answer, because this company is not owned by the Congress party.
But it's
this
not
company is owned.
It's not Rahul Gandhi
by
alone.
Mr. Gandhi,
it's also
Mrs.
Sonia
Vadra
Gandhi. It's Priyanka Gandhi. It's the Gandhi family. It's not Rahul alone.
That's why I said it's Mrs. Vadra. It is Mrs. Sonia Gandhi. That's what I said. So it is all of these put together, why they have evaded tax authorities, why after over 40 summons they don't present themselves before the authorities. Obviously they feel that they are bigger than the law in this country, bigger than the constitutional obligations they have as citizens to present themselves before authorities, which are seeking to reassess them on the basis of furji information and documentation. That is something for Mr. Gandhi to answer. But I know from history and from watching Mr. Gandhi, these are uncomfortable questions that he'll never come to the fore and give an answer.
Smriti Irani, you're one person who always takes on Rahul Gandhi. Now, I get a sense that you will be taking him on in Amethi.
I'm not one person. I'm not one person. I'm part of one parivar.
Yeah, but I get a sense that this will eventually end up in a bigger battle in Amethi between you and Mr. Gandhi.
Amethi battle is already lost for Mr. Gandhi.
Will you be leading?
He has to look for new pastures.
He has to look for new pastures. Is that a challenge from you?
I will only say this. It's not a challenge, but it's a proclamation of confidence. Given in the last Vidhan Sabha, you saw Mr. Gandhi could not win even one Vidhan Sabha seat. He could not win even one local election. Given that, which is not only the current recent history of of Amethi, but also the current position right now in Amethi.
Right.
I think Amethi is looking forward to the blossoming of the lotus flower.
Well, that's going to be a fantastic battle. I get a sense there's a lot to be read in what Smriti Irani just said. Thank you very much, Smriti Irani, for joining me today. Thank you.
All I said,
yes, what did you
Mr.
say?
Gandhi, don't evade the tax authorities, pay your taxes. All I'm saying is, Mr. Gandhi, don't evade your taxes, come out with the truth and do tell what is that magic that can make you buy a 90 crore loan for a mere 50 lakhs, that too 50 lakhs that originates from a shell company in Kolkata.
Well, that does make Mr. Gandhi, after Vijay Mallya, probably the richest member of parliament with these kind of assets to his name. Thank you very much, Smriti.
It makes him a financial wizard.
Financial wizard. Oh, number 2 to Robert Vadra. You forgot. Robert Vadra comes first. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Irani. Thank you.
Possible.
Thank you.
Possibly. Thank you.